I'm Aisha. I'm Jasmine.
And I'm 12.
And we're IJT Productions.
I wanted to ask you all a question. And I know I'm just listening to everything. I'm just sitting here like inspired and encouraged, just seeing the different stories that you guys are sharing and shedding light on that. And I really appreciate everything you all are saying. So the question that I would like to ask is I want to ask about your very first. I want you to tell me about your first sale or your first client or your first deal that you got closed or the first service or opportunity that you got when you started your business. I want to start with Joselina. Can we start with you? Can you tell us about your first sale?
Sure. Um, so I have a second business as well. That the first is like really funding. That's the real passion. I am a bridal designer and evening gown designer. And that was quite a while ago. So it was really emotional because I was like in my early 20s. And I was just out of school for like about a year. When one of my clients at Bergdorf Goodman, I had came into work with a skirt I made, and she had really loved the skirt. And we're shopping or whatever. She's one of my very good clients, and she was like, "Where's that skirt? I want to buy that." And I was like shocked. I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, I made it." And she was like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, I just graduated FIT." And she was like, "Oh my God, what do you make?" And I said, "I make bridal gowns and evening gowns." She goes, how rich people do. She was like, "Well, I have an event in 2 months." It was like, I think this was like June, and she had an event like in September. And she was like, I want you to make my dress. And I couldn't believe the words I was hearing. So I was like, "Sure, no problem." And I had to consult like a dean or something. So like to your mom's point, just like, or to Tiffany's point, having mentors is so important, because I had no idea about costing, about how I should cost this product or anything like that. And I literally went home that day and cried for like 2 hours. Like I could not believe someone was seeing me and wanted something I made.
So I'm gonna pass it to Tiffany. Can you tell us about your first deal that you closed or home that you sold?
Yeah, so it was in June. Like I said, I just started I've been a real estate less than a year. So it was in June. I met this client. It was husband and wife. They were moving from North Carolina, I believe it was, and they're moving into the city. So it's their first time. It was a great, like that was my first deal. I will never forget it. It's something that I felt very connected with them. I got to know what they were looking for, what they wanted. We just kind of found something really quick, actually. They were on it. We found something quick. They loved it. And, they actually invited me to their house after. I bought them a bottle, which we do. We bring them closing gifts. Bought them a little bottle to celebrate. Yeah, it was a great experience. Like would always remember that because they were just very kind, and it felt very good to help someone, that was looking. So in real estate, we have a buyer's agent, and we have the listing agent. In that deal, I was the buyer's agent. So just by helping them find a place to live with their dog near a park, that's all they wanted. Not all the time you would get have those clients that are, not as picky, but, they were, very special, and I will always hold a place for them in my heart. I actually reached out to them a few months ago just to make sure that everything was okay, which I always do. I always check on my clients after just to make sure that, everything has gone well, they're still happy. But yeah, I really would never forget that. So yeah.
Beautiful. I'm gonna pass it to Beryl. Can you tell us about your first sale or your first client that how did that all go for you?
So I'll tell you, that's kind of a somewhat daunting question. I'll tell you guys about my first um, client, if you will, in my very first business, because really this is how Born Creative got started. um, and at that point in time, I was really solely focused on utilizing the arts to as a modality for wellness. So um, mental, physical, emotional, etc. wellness. And I developed a program. I had no blueprint, no connections, no nothing. I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to work with kids. I want to set this program on kids. I want them to experience real impact. And I actually went to the city of Tampa, and was like, hey guys, listen, I have this program and this is my background, and I, just completed grad school, and this is what I want to do. And they said, we will give you a shot. I tell you what, we'll provide this space for the freezies at that. We'll provide this space. You have to get the kids there. And we started out at a rec center and had about 75 kids signed up for this program. Totally brand new. It just, I mean, the buy-in from the staff, the investment of the parents, all showing up at the end of that program, just everything about that for me made it memorable, not because it was the first program, but because I remember how it impacted the students and how it confirmed for me that this is what you're supposed to do. If you ever had any doubts, use your creative ability to change things. And yeah, that was my very first uh, sale, if you will, as
Mhm.
a business owner.
Wonderful. So I'm gonna pass it to you, Miss Jean. Tell us about your very first sale.
Okay, I don't know which one you want to go, but I'm just going to tell this story. Um, COVID hit. COVID hit in 2020. Now you go back a little further when my granddaughter got sick. I think she had COVID because they couldn't really diagnose her. So my daughter called me, mommy. She gave me a list of herbs. She said, "Do you got these herbs?" Which is a blessing. I did have the herbs, so I created a blend for my daughter and myself, and the baby, and so I enhanced it a little bit, and it just basically set it dormant. So one day maintenance came here to do some work. He thought I was the witch. Yeah, I get that a lot. People think I'm a witch. So he had been here a couple of times, and he just happened to, I guess he got the courage to ask me what was all of that in the sun parlor where I got all my herbs lined up so I can see them. I keep them in jars and stuff. So he said, "I thought you was doing witchcraft." I said, "No, I'm not doing, no, I'm not a witch. I just practice holistic therapy." Anyway, make a long story short, I told him what I had and what I can do. And he came back with his wife a week later. in the middle of COVID 2020. And I was overwhelmed. What I did was I served them tea. I made a blend so they could sit down and they could taste it, because my teas are not like something you buy at the store. They're very unique and have a very unique taste to them as well. He was very receptive, and he passed the word on to the maintenance guys in my complex. So it was like, oh my God. And I can't express the feeling I experienced when they was asking me to make these blends for them. Could you make something like this? Could you make something like that? I didn't even have a price tag on none of my blends, so I was just coming off the top of my head. Okay, this is $10. It's $12. I didn't have no set pricing or anything like that. And second, so after that took place, I came to DJ's family's family reunion. So he said, "Mommy, bag your stuff up and bring your stuff." And I'm like, "Really? No, I don't think so." And he's like, "Mommy, bring your stuff, bring your teas, bring everything." So like I said, I brought the pomades, I brought the sugar scrubs, I brought the oils, I brought the teas, I brought the crocheting. I took and brought everything. So my husband thought I was going crazy. I said, "DJ said bring everything, so this is everything that I do." So I brought everything. And I sold just about everything. I was so amazed on how people was receptive to my products, not to mention that this is my ex-in-laws, but that's all that stuff is past tense with family. And they was very receptive too. They referred friends. And I have a customer that's in North Carolina that sister was at the family reunion that I sold the tea. And I'm like, wow. So I can never express the feeling. It's because it wasn't about the money. It was about my product, especially when they went crazy over my shawls. And I'm like, do they know how old these shawls? I just like to crochet because I have carpal tunnel. So I crochet to keep the exercising of my hands. So I would just make stuff and wash it and put it in plastic and store it. So I'm like, do they understand how old it is? But crochet never goes out of fashion neither. It never goes out of fashion. But like I said, it wasn't so much about the money that I made that weekend. It was about the fact that people were receptive to what I had to offer, and they was willing to buy it. So that's what it's all about. It's about the quality of your work, and people appreciate and understand what you put into your business.
Beautiful. And last but not least, Kelsey, can you share with us your first experience of a sale or client or service?
So I had like a really crazy, I have a lot of crazy firsts with launching this e-commerce business, but actually Jasmine was my first customer, which is so interesting because like literally, because I had just launched it. And what's hilarious, well, it's not hilarious at all actually, but I got in a car accident. So when I got the message, I can't remember if you had ordered it before my accident or if anyways, when I got the message, I was like literally not in Arizona. I had just gotten in a car accident, like within a few days, and got COVID within a few days. So like my first ever sale with my business was extremely weighed with a lot of stressful things that happened like right around that time. So that was a really, really stressful couple of days, but she was my first customer. So that was cool. Yeah. So yeah, I was like literally it had already been such a busy time, like just getting things going. And then I couldn't drive or talk for like 3 weeks. Well, couldn't drive for longer because my car was total, but my face was all swollen and I couldn't it was like a crazy couple of weeks. Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're glad you made it through your accident. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much for watching. Please share, subscribe, and like, comment. We appreciate you all, and thank you all for watching.